I'm here at Walibi Holland in the Netherlands. This place is home to 9 different roller coasters for me to get on today. It's my first time at the park, so it's going to be great exploring the park for the first time. This place is home to 3 different RMCs, and one of the main coasters that I'm interested in getting on today is Untamed. It's sort of a mid-size RMC, and it's earned the nickname Mini Steel Vengeance. So Steel Vengeance is my favourite roller coaster in the world, so it'll be great to see how it compares. My name is Max Grindon, and this is Max G-Force. And I have just entered the park. The park opened about 20 minutes ago, so it's 20 past 10, and I'm going to head straight to the back of the park to go to Untamed first. And yeah, I am very, very excited for that. And on my way to Untamed, I've spotted a massive Ferris wheel. I have to get on that today to get some good views around the park. Well, I've made my way over to Untamed now. This thing, it opened in 2019, it's got a height of 119 feet tall, hence why it's sort of on the mid-size range of RMC hybrid coasters. It's got 4 different inversions, and apparently it's got 14 different moments of airtime. So I'm really excited to get on this, and I've just entered the queue line, and it just looks fantastic. All the trees here, and then the coaster in the background. It also looks like it's on a station wait. So I'm gonna get a few re-rides in on this, and yeah, I'll let you know how it rides when I get off. And I've just come off 3 rides there on Untamed. My first ride was on the back row, and then I went round in the single rider line they've got there, and the single rider had no one in it. So I got straight back on in the middle of the train, and then I went round again, and I got another towards the back. I think it was 3rd row from the back. And so yeah, now I can give you my first impressions on Untamed here at Walibi Holland. So it is delivering loads of pops of airtime. I lost count at how many times my bum was out of the seat there. And the thing with RMCs, they really do warm up throughout the day. And you know, it's early in the morning, it's the first hour of park opening. So this will be riding in its sort of worst state today. And despite that, it was an incredible experience. You get great airtime going down the first drop, then you've got a speed hill, which reminds me exactly of Steel Vengeance. And then you go up into a really cool sort of like double inversion. And yeah, on the topic of inversions, yeah, Untamed has 4 different ones, and the first 3 I would describe as floaty hang time. There's especially one just there as you're turning round, you're getting floater airtime while upside down, which reminds me very much of the inversions on Steel Vengeance, which are some of my most favourite inversions in the world on any roller coaster. And it's got those style of inversions where you're just getting zero gravity floating out of your seat. It really is a really cool feeling. And the final inversion of the ride is like a really slow heartline roll. And because it's taking the heartline roll so slowly, you're getting major hang time. And I've not really felt hang time on an RMC before. They usually focus on that zero gravity feeling when going upside down. But yeah, this had major hang time on that heartline roll. So that was great to experience that. And yeah, you go up that lift hill pretty fast because yeah, it's only 119 feet tall. But yeah, despite the height, you're getting so much airtime on this, it is ridiculous. So yeah, considering that it's still early in the day and my 3 rides on Untamed were incredible, it's still got a long way to go until the end of the day. You know, those wheels are going to warm up nice, so I do look forward to getting back on Untamed at the end of today, and then I'll give you my final verdict on the ride, when it's running at its best. And I'm just passing this S&S shot tower. I'll have to ride that later, but I'm just going to head over to Goliath, which is an Intamin mega coaster, and it's one of the older Intamin mega coasters. And on my way to the Intamin mega coaster Goliath, I'm just passing Eat My Dust. This is a family coaster. You know what? I'm going to quickly head on it now. It's not got a long line at all. I've got to get all 9 credits in this park. So yeah, I'm going to head on it now while it's got a small line. And yeah, I'll let you know how Eat My Dust rides. And I've just got off Eat My Dust. What a great name for a coaster. Yeah, it's a Zamperla Junior coaster, and you got 2 laps on it, which was good. It's quite cool. I mean, obviously it's just a a junior coaster. But I quite like the element where you've gone down sort of the sort of spiral drop, and then you sort of turn. That's good fun. But yeah, overall it's just a smaller coaster. But I think it's quite a cool theme. It's got a good zero car as well. It's like a a dune buggy or something. So that's pretty cool. But now I'm going to head over to do Goliath. When I checked the app last, I only had like a 15-minute wait. So yeah, I should be able to get on a few coasters today. And yeah, hopefully get all 9 credits. And I've made my way over to Goliath now. This opened in 2002. It's 153 feet tall. It's not got any inversions, this ride. It's more focused on airtime and twists and turns, I think. So yeah, I'll let you know how Goliath rides when I get off. and I have just had 2 rides on Goliath. They've got a single rider line and it was practically empty, so I ran round and went on it again. And on my first ride I sat on row 2. On my second ride I sat on the front row. What are the odds? Yeah, it's very unlikely to get a front row ride when you're using single riders, so it was amazing to get that. And so yeah, what do I think of Goliath? Well, it is epic. So the airtime on it, so you go down the first drop, sitting on the front you get sort of like half sort of hang time, like, because you're not upside down but you're sort of hanging out of your seat forwards, and then obviously going down that drop is good fun. At the bottom of that drop you got good force on that. That's something about Goliath, it really does deliver strong positive G's. Then you go into this airtime hill. That airtime hill is really strong, and sitting on the front row you're getting pushed into it, pushed up out of your seat there. Then you go into this really cool like overbanked turn into a really strong helix. Basically it looks like a complete circle you're traveling in, and is really low to the ground. You're getting really strong G-forces there. It's really quite intense. I got a little bit of grey out there and I was sitting on the front row, so that's really interesting. Then you go into sort of a twisty sort of airtime hill. That doesn't deliver that strong airtime. And then you go into another helix, which is great. Once again, really strong positives. And then the finale of the ride, it has to be one of my favourite parts of it. You've just got 3 airtime hills, airtime hill after airtime hill, all of them delivering really strong airtime. And yeah, once you've done those last 3 airtime hills, you then go into another turn, which yet again is really forceful. So Goliath, it's full of force, it's full of airtime, and the thing I love about it is the old generation Untamed trains on these are really quite comfortable. You've got a small lap bar, exactly the same trains to Millennium Force over in Cedar Point. You've only got a small little lap bar and a seat belt there, and it makes for a really freeing experience. And sitting on that front row, you really do appreciate like the sense of speed as well, and the wind blowing in your face, you know, it is amazing. So yeah, Goliath is well up there with one of my favourite Untamed roller coasters that I've ever been on. Absolutely terrific, especially for the size of it as well. What a ride. And just to the left of Goliath is the new section, new for 2025, because they built Yoi. Wow, look at this RMC dueling single rail coaster. Well, there's 2 of them. I mean, so the green side is the thrilling side, and then the blue side is the chill side. Yeah, they're 2 completely independent tracks, so we've got 2 credits to get today on these, and it will be my first ever single rail coaster, so I'm really excited for this. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna head on them now. Oh. Wow. Well, I've just come off Yoi Chill. They have a single rider line for it, and the single rider was very dead. I was the only person in it. So you know what, I ran around and I had a second go on it. So I've had 2 rides on Yoi Chill and none on Yoi Thrill. So I'll review Yoi Thrill later. But let me first give you my thoughts about the blue track Yoi Chill. So, you've got no inversions on the chill track, and you know what? I think the name Chill is really quite deceiving because it packs a hell of a punch. My gosh! So, in the single rider queue, I assume you're mostly always going to get the back row, and my gosh, you're whipped down that first drop, ejector airtime, and then you go into a speed hill or like a low down sort of airtime hill. Once again, really strong airtime. The chill side is not chill whatsoever. It's full of strong airtime, and when you're doing the turnaround moments on it, you're getting a lot of force as well. This thing feels relentless. It feels like an RMC should. So I've got really good first impressions from riding my first ever RMC single rail. And if that's the chill side, who only knows what the thrill side is going to be like, because I absolutely love the chill side. Yeah, it's packed full of airtime, and I have to say, dueling with the other train really makes this ride something special. You know, when I'm on a coaster, I like to take in the views anyway, but when you're running alongside another train, it is so much fun. It's a real fun novelty for a roller coaster when they're dueling. It really is. The way the lift hill works is both sides speed up and slow down, meaning not one side wins every time. So yeah, it's great that you really don't know who is going to win the race on Yoi. Something I should mention as well is the seats. So it's quite a peculiar seating position. You're sort of like mounting the seat, a bit like riding a horse, I suppose, and that's the sort of position your legs are in. So it's not the most natural sort of seating position, but you know what, the restraints, the lap bar comes over your shoulder and you've got like comfort collars on it as well. I found the restraints really quite comfortable, and the comfort collars throughout the layout would sort of slip off a little bit. Maybe that was just me and my body shape, I don't know, but so yeah, they really weren't that restrictive, so you really did feel the airtime moments, and you can really appreciate them, which is great. So I'm really pleased about that. But yeah, with regards to the seating position, I think you get used to it. It didn't really bother me. I have to say as well, when I was waiting in the single rider queue line for Yoi Chill, there was an amazing bird nest right above the queue line with 3 really cute little birds in there. Let me know down in the comments if you know what type of bird they are. I'd love to know. Yeah, they're really cute, and like the mother was flying in and out. Yeah, really cool. However, the downside to that is there's quite a bit of poop on the floor under that. So beware, if you're queuing up on the single rider for Yoi Chill, do not stand under the bird's nest, because yeah, you might be in for an unexpected surprise. But overall, Yoi Chill, it is amazing. I'm really, really impressed, and I really do look forward to getting on Yoi Thrill. I mean, it's got quite a long line at the moment, so the thrill side, I've heard, tends to get the longer queues, and from my experience today, that is definitely the case. So I'm going to head over to have lunch now. They've got like a little snack place there, and then I'll see whether the queue's gone down or not. And yeah, Yoi Chill, I absolutely love it, and I look forward to going to other theme parks in the world that have a more extreme RMC single rail. This, Yoi, overall, is on the lower end of the RMC single rails. They've got some amazing, like quite tall ones over in America at some of the Six Flags parks. Yeah, one called Wonder Woman's Golden Lasso, I think. And they're meant to be way more intense than this, apparently. So, considering my ride experience on Yoi Chill, yeah, I can only imagine what the more extreme RMC single rails feel like. Yeah, Yoi so far, is absolutely brilliant. Oh, what a coaster. Well, I have just had lunch there, and I had it at the, well, it's called Flavours, and it's right next to Yoy. You can't miss it. And I have to say, I had the best ham and cheese toastie of my life. So yeah, I had basically a ham and cheese toasted sandwich, and it was amazing. I highly recommend it. Yeah, really good ham, really good cheese, full of flavour. And I've made my way over to Condor now. This is a typical Vekoma SLC. They've got loads of these around the world. It's a very highly cloned roller coaster model. And the special thing about Condor is they've upgraded the trains. They've fitted in vest restraints, which I've only ridden one other SLC with vest restraints, and it was Mayan over in Energylandia in Poland. And I loved Mayan. Like, I actually enjoyed an SLC, which, you know, is quite rare because they're known for being very rough and sort of headbangy rides. But I enjoyed mine because it had the vest restraint. So I've got high hopes for Condor. Yeah, it's got 5 inversions this, and yeah, it looks to be hopefully a good ride, because they are good layouts and they do deliver strong positive Gs. So yeah, I'll let you know how Condor rides when I get off. Well, I've just got off Condor there, and I am extremely disappointed. That was brutal. Despite having the vest restraints, it was, the ride experience was absolutely jarring. It was bone crushing. So I purposefully waited for the back row, hoping that I'll get the good amount of force on this SLC that I have on the likes of Mayan. And I really didn't get much force. It was yeah, definitely one of the most rough SLCs I've ever done. The vest restraint can't even save this coaster from the absolute jankiness. You're just getting violently shaken around in your seat. It really is an uncomfortable ride. And yeah, there wasn't much force on the back row. I mean, I've ridden these on the front rows, and there was some force there. But yeah, you'd think the back row would also have a lot of force, but no. Condor, it was forceless, and it was painful. So yeah, that's a real disappointment. But hey-ho, it is what it is. I don't know what I expected from a Vekoma SLC, really. So after my absolutely brutal and violent ride on Condor, I'm heading back over to Yoy, the Yoy thrill side. The queue's gone down a lot now, so I'm going to head in there and check out the green track. Earlier in the day, they were only running one train on both the sides, so the queues were moving really slowly. So I was lucky I managed to get 2 back-to-back rides really on Yoy Chill in the single rider line. And yeah, I'll let you know how Yoy Thrill rides when I get off. and I've just come off Yoy Thrill there. I've just had 2 back-to-back rides, so I queued up in the main queue actually to begin with, because I thought it was going to move faster than the single rider. It ended up being slower. I misjudged where the single rider queue was. But anyway, thank God I went into the main queue because I got the front row by pure chance. The front row ride on Yoy Thrill is outstanding. Like, that first drop, so you go into like to start off, when you exit the lift hill, you do a small turnaround and then you go into your first inversion of the ride. It's like a barrel roll while going down a drop, which is amazing. Going upside down, down a drop, a bit like the death roll on Iron Gwazi. It's amazing because on the front row, you're like getting hang time while going down it, but you're still going down it really fast. So it's a really unique element that I've not experienced before. And every single inversion on Yoy Thrill is brilliant. Like I mentioned with Untamed, these RMC inversions, they do really achieve 0G. They're proper 0G rolls, a lot of them, and that means you're just floating out of your seat. And like I mentioned with Yoy Chill, I find these restraints pretty comfortable. The comfort collars, they don't lock up whatsoever, so you know they're completely loose. So you're completely coming out of your seat during the zero gravity moments and during the moments of airtime as well. And yeah, the good thing about the restraints is it's only a small, thin little lap bar, and I've not been pinned on it, so I often get a good little gap there. So that's great. And you know, restraints are really important with a roller coaster because if you have uncomfortable restraints, it can be a make or break. So, of course, this would be better with just lap bars, but I don't think the comfort collars take away from this ride whatsoever. It's a really enjoyable ride experience. And guess what? My second ride on the thrill side, I got the back row. So, you know, I've had a front row ride and a back row ride, the perfect combo. So sitting on the back row going down that drop is amazing. You're getting completely whipped down it. And before you know it, you're at the bottom of the valley, pulling some good G's and then going up into that airtime hill. The back row on this coaster, on both sides actually, the back row is great for watching the other train which you're racing against, because you can actually see it in front of you, whereas when I was sitting on the front row I didn't see much of the blue train because I was sort of in front of it really. So that's the one downside to the front row, but the front row far makes up for it, for the views you just get in front of you. And this first drop is probably best on the front row, which is, you know, that's quite unusual, but it's because you're getting a little bit more hang time on it, and it's such a good ride. I'm really impressed with Yoy. It has far exceeded my expectations of this coaster. It really has. And Walibi Holland have made a really good pick, choosing RMC to build this package roller coaster with 2 tracks. Yeah, it's a full package, and yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm going to head over to do Express Platform 13, I think it's called. It looks to be a pretty good one. It's a Vekoma, it's another Vekoma. Hopefully it won't be as bad as that though. It's just in the Hall of Fame building. Yeah, you walk through this when you're entering the park. So it's a Vekoma LSM launch coaster, and fun fact, spoiler alert by the way, if you've not been to the Disney parks, it's got the same exact layout pretty much of the Rock and Roller Coaster. However, Express Platform 13, it's located entirely outdoors other than the first launch. So the first launch is indoors and then you go outside. And the crazy thing about this coaster is rcdb.com, which is like the roller coaster database, it's where I get all my facts and figures pretty much. They list it as having a max G-force of 5 Gs, which is, I mean, that would be the most forceful coaster I will have ever been on. And I think the most forceful coaster I've ever been on so far is probably the Lek coaster at Legendia in Poland. Be sure to check out that vlog if you haven't already, by the way. It's considered by many as the most intense roller coaster in all of Europe, and that is a Vekoma. So Vekoma, they love their intense rides, and yeah, I'll let you know how Express Platform 13 rides when I get off. And I have just got off Express Platform 13. Okay, so I've never done the rock and roller coaster at Disney, but if it's got the same exact layout as that, I'm in shock that a Disney park has such an intense roller coaster, because Express Platform 13, it was really intense. You start off with that LSM launch, that's really snappy. And then you pull up into an inversion, and that is where I felt the most G-forces, the most positive Gs. It was insane. I got complete grey out vision. Yeah, my whole, for me, my vision sort of goes purple when I get grey out. And I got a ton of it on that coaster. It was, yeah, really, really forceful. But yeah, other than the strong forces on it, it's not really got much going for it, I'm afraid. It's a pretty old coaster now. Yeah, it opened back when Walibi Holland was owned by Six Flags. It was actually formerly known as Superman the Ride, and yeah, it was all themed to Superman. And I'm sure it was probably a much better ride back then. It's quite jarring, the coaster now. It is quite rattly. But other than that, I can really appreciate the forces on it. Yeah, definitely, yeah, a really, really forceful ride. And I'm just making my way over to Zero Gravity. It's a Mack Big Dipper. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely love Mack rides. They've made some absolutely brilliant roller coasters, including my second favourite coaster in the world, the Ride to Happiness, which I rode over in Plopsaland the other day. And I mean, how cool is this sign? How it sort of like changes when you walk up close to it. That is very, very cool. But yeah, so just over there is Lost Gravity. It's not like the longest layout, I don't think, but it is a very cool one. I mean, look at that. This was sort of like the predecessor to the Mack Striker coasters, which they've built only one of over in Europa Park, called Voltron. That is meant to be an incredible coaster. But as you can see, you've got on the far left and far right seats, they are wing seats where you've got nothing below you. So that's really cool. And look at that dive drop there. I absolutely love the colour scheme as well. So yeah, I'll let you know how this Mack Big Dipper rides when I get off. And I have just got off Lost Gravity. My gosh, that was a really pleasant surprise. I was not expecting it to be just that good. So I queued up in the single rider. I absolutely love the fact that Walibi Holland have all these single rider queues. It really does cut out the long waits if you're, you know, even if you're coming in a group and if you don't mind being split up, it's definitely worth getting into those single rider lines to really cut down your wait times. And obviously I'm here solo today, so it's working perfectly for me. So yeah, I got onto the back row. I sat on the far left seat, which was one of those wing seats, which was absolutely brilliant. Going down that first drop on that far left seat, you're completely whipped over. So I reckon I probably got the best seat on the ride. Especially for that first drop. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that first drop to be that good and that whippy as well, because it's only one car, so usually you get the best first drops on, you know, long trains, which can really whip the back row down that first drop. Surprisingly, it goes down that first drop with a lot of whip, and after that first drop you go into a speed hill, and that speed hill gives you brilliant ejector airtime. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the amount of airtime that you do get on this coaster. You then go into a really strange turnaround section. In fact, Mack rides like their peculiar turnarounds, don't they? Because Hyperia has that absolutely crazy one. This one's not as crazy as Hyperia. You don't, yeah, absolutely. This one's not as crazy as Hyperia because you don't go upside down. However, you do get some airtime on it, which is great. And then coming out of that, you go into another airtime hill just there. That's nice and strong as well. Yeah, loads of really good pops of airtime on this coaster. Then you go into quite a strange, slow moving turnaround section here. But that gives you good laterals. So you're getting sort of pinned to the left of your seat there. And then you go into another dive drop, but that's once again great. So Lost Gravity, I am really impressed with it. Yeah, overall, Lost Gravity is full of airtime, it's inversion heavy as well, and considering the footprint of it, it's not that like grander scale of a coaster. It really does pack a punch. Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I really do like it. And it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, far exceeded my expectations. Really good fun. And if you've made it this far into the vlog, if you haven't already, please do be sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It's completely free and it really helps out. And after my one ride there on Lost Gravity, I'm heading over to ride Draco back there. Yeah, early in the vlog, in the introduction, I said there was 9 roller coasters for me to get on today. But that wasn't including the second track on Yoi. So overall, I'll be getting 10 credits today, which is brilliant. And yeah, so Draco, it's a Zero Tivoli, it's a family coaster. Well, it's more of a junior coaster, but you know what? A credit's a credit, and I'll let you know how it rides when I get off. Draco, you know what? It actually got some good speed on it. Yeah, going down that first drop, I was surprised at how sort of fast it felt. And it makes a really cool sound going around the track. Yeah, it sounds quite cool. So yeah, it's a pretty good junior coaster. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that, but it makes a really cool sort of whistling sound. It sounds brilliant. Having just come off Draco, that small Zero Tivoli, I'm going to head over and do the Speed of Sound now. Well, that's another one that's close to the entrance of the park. And just on my way, I'm passing a log flume, and look at that, it's got a double down there. That is great. I don't think I'm going to have time to get on it today. I mean, I probably would, but I want to focus more on the coasters today. But I love a good log flume. It's great to see that this park has a good one as well with that double down. And I've made my way over to the Speed of Sound now. This coaster, it apparently has a max G-force of 5.2 Gs, which, if that's true, it would be the most forceful coaster I will have ever ridden in my life. So, you know, I'll be the judge of that. It's a Vekoma boomerang. They're pretty standard. In fact, they're so standard that they are the most cloned ride model anywhere in the world. Vekoma have managed to sell 55 of these models of roller coaster. That is just incredible. So apparently this is one of the best ones because they've put a tunnel there, and apparently it plays music on ride as well. So yeah, I'll let you know how it rides when I get off, and I'll tell you whether it really is the most forceful ride I've ever ridden. And I have just got off Speed of Sound, which means I have officially ridden all 10 roller coasters here at Walibi Holland and achieved 10 more coaster credits to my credit count, which is brilliant. So what did I think of this Vekoma Boomerang? Well, I managed to sit on the back row. Yeah, I queued up in the single ride line and they put me on the back row, which was really quite lucky. So I went right to the top of that backwards lift hill there, right to the top of that spike in that tunnel, and going down that drop was pretty fun at the top there. Yeah, you did have onboard audio, which was good fun, and then you speed through the station and enter this the start of the Cobra roll here. You get good force going into that. Yeah, quite strong G-forces there, and likewise pulling out of it. And then you enter the vertical loop where you get a ton of G's as well, and then back up into that second lift hill there. You go into that lift hill forwards, obviously, and then because I was sitting on the back, it means that I was sort of positioned right to the bottom here of that lift hill when it then dropped. But that should still mean I get a lot of force going into this vertical loop, and it did, because basically the momentum was pushing me into it on the back row there. And yeah, I can confirm that this is an extremely forceful ride, but I didn't grey out or anything. So while I did feel the forces, I wonder how it managed to get that 5.2 G reading. But despite that, yeah, it is really quite forceful, and yeah, it is a really good Vekoma Boomerang. One of the good things about it as well is it has vest restraints, so it's not got the horrible over the shoulder bulky restraints that really give you bad head banging. No, it only has normal vest restraints, which was great. So yeah, Speed of Sound, it is a pretty good Vekoma Boomerang, probably the best I've ever done. And now I've completed all 10 roller coasters at the park. I think it's time for me to show you the rest of Walibi Holland and get on some flat rides. So I'm going to head over there, head onto that Ferris wheel, and hopefully get some good views of the park. And I've made my way over to this absolutely massive Ferris wheel now. This is sort of like the centerpiece of Walibi Holland. You see it at the end of this sort of main street as you enter the park. Yeah, and it is a brilliant centerpiece. It is absolutely huge. So I expect to get some pretty amazing views right at the top there. And it's my favorite style of Ferris wheel, which doesn't have like glass there. It's literally just completely open air. So that means we get unobstructed views, which I'll be able to bring you now of the park. So yeah, I'll see you up there. And here we are, I've made my way onto the Ferris wheel now, and look at these views. I'm just starting to get a bit higher now. So we've got that S&S shot tower over there. I look forward to getting on that soon. Literally, I plan on going on that next. Look at Conda there, the Vekoma SLC. Horrible SLC that. Oh, look at this view though. You've got Goliath there. Brilliant Untamed mega coaster. I look forward to getting on some re-rides of that. I've literally got another 3 hours in the park, so I've got loads of time to get loads of re-rides in, which is fantastic. Oh, you got Yoi there. Oh, and look, there's Express Platform 13. So yeah, you couldn't see that over at the entrance of it, but yeah, as you can see, it's completely outside, which yeah, is different for that style of ride, really, if you're used to it at those Disney parks. And look at Untamed from here. Wow, that's an angle you don't often get. Look at the support structure of it. Wow. It's funny how the right of it, you know, has more supports there than the left. The left is like pretty much flat. So I guess that's there to compensate for that. And look at all those windmills in the background there. Yeah, that's something I've noticed about driving in the Netherlands. They've got lots of these like wind turbines. And wow. Untamed really is a good coaster. I do look forward to getting back on that later today and giving you my final verdict on it. Yeah, it will have really warmed up by then. Wow, look at that. And I've made my way over to the S&S shot tower now. This one's called Space Shot. And yeah, basically these S&S shot towers, what they do, it uses compressed air to launch the gondola up all the way to the top. So you get a vertical launch and then it sort of like bounces up and down. So I rode my first one of these over in Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the UK and I absolutely loved it. But if you know me, if you've watched the channel before, you will know I really don't like drop towers where, you know, it takes you to the top and then just drops you. And that's because I hate the stomach drop feeling you get when going down a drop when you're scared. And it was only yesterday where I went to Walibi, Belgium and rode their absolutely huge Untamed drop tower. And yeah, I sort of worked myself up to going onto it. And yeah, I ended up going on it. I was absolutely terrified though. And in that video, you'll hear me screaming my lungs out. Oh God. Yeah, I was absolutely terrified. So, you know, I will do drop towers if I have to. And, you know, if I really want to. But ultimately, I don't really enjoy them because I am still frightened of them. However, I'm not scared of S&S shot towers because you don't get that initial stomach drop feeling because instead you're getting launched upwards. So it's a completely different sensation. Rather, you're getting pinned down into your seat. But anyway, I'll let you know how Space Shot rides when I get off. And I've just come off my one ride there on Space Shot. That was brilliant. I absolutely love these S&S shot towers. They are so much fun. Just the amount of airtime you get when you're at the top there coming back down is just brilliant, as well as that initial launch going up. Getting launched into the sky at such speed, just watching the ground get further and further away from you and being able to see further and further away while going up is amazing. And I was seated on that side there, which meant I was facing Untamed, and I got absolutely brilliant views of Untamed on there. So Space Shot is a really good flat ride. For me, I think this is one of the best flat ride models out there in the world. I really do. I enjoy them so much. I could ride them all day, to be honest. In terms of how does it compare to the only other one I've done, Launchpad over in Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I think Launchpad is probably a bit more forceful. Yeah, I think this one's a little bit weaker, but despite that, I mean, I got quite a big gap with my restraint, which meant the airtime I got up there was absolutely ridiculous. So this one was pretty much just as good in terms of my enjoyment of it. Yeah, absolutely love Space Shot. Okay, Yoi has just been shut for ages, so and it's literally just reopened, so the queues are going to be really short. I'm going to get straight in and get on as many rides as possible. Okay, what has just happened to me is what can only be described in the coaster community as striking gold. I came over to the Yoi area and the two coasters were closed, and it was really quiet over here. It had clearly been closed for quite a while, and then they reopened right when I came. So the lines were completely empty. In fact, they still sort of are. People still haven't made their way over to this part of the park realising that they're open. But they're open, and I got one ride on Yoi Thrill, the green side, and I got 3 rides in on Chill within the span of like 20 minutes. And one of those rides on Chill, my first ride, it was on the back row. We pull into the station from my first ride, and there's no one waiting. So the ride ops let us go again, and which means I had 2 straight back-to-back rides without even getting out of my seat on Chill. And then I ran round again and did Chill for a 3rd time. So in total, I've done Yoi Chill 5 times today, and I've done the green side 3 times. And what I can tell you is they are absolutely brilliant roller coasters, and they're full of airtime. Both sides are full of airtime. Despite having been on the blue side more times than the green side, I still prefer Yoi Thrill. So the Thrill side is my favourite side. One thing I have noticed is after so many back-to-back rides, I can tell this isn't a beautifully smooth RMC, and I'm used to really smooth rides. Like all their hybrid roller coasters, such as our Untamed, they are amazingly glass smooth. You wouldn't really expect it looking at those wooden structures, would you? But those RMC hybrids, they're beautifully smooth. But after my back-to-back rides on Yoi, I have really quite felt quite a strong judder at parts. And I dare to say that there's one moment on the Chill side when you're going into a turnaround moment, just after like I think that you call this like a Top Gun element, because the 2 trains are sort of facing each other, one upside down. Yeah, as you exit that on the blue side, right at the bottom of that valley, there is what I would describe as a pothole. Like you're really sort of getting whacked down in your seat. So it is somewhat of a shame that RMC have sort of broken their record of beautifully smooth coasters with this single rail here. Like I said, these are my first ever single rails, so I don't know whether it is just these ones that are a bit janky, or whether it is all of them. So yeah, if you've ridden like the likes of Wonder Woman's Golden Lasso at the Six Flags parks, do let me know in the comments down below what you think of them, because I'd love to know whether they are also quite as janky as these. So despite them being quite harsh on the body, overall it makes for an extreme experience, and despite the jarringness, I really do enjoy Yoi. I enjoy both sides, and if I had to pick one, it would be the thrilling side, just because those inversions are the best part of the ride for me. And I'm so pleased that I've ridden it so many times today. Yeah, I've really made the most of this new attraction. And thanks to this new expansion that Walibi Holland have made with Yoi, it's opened this whole new part of the park up, and it's allowed for this brilliant view that you previously didn't get of Express Platform 13. And I was just sitting down having my dinner, actually, just after rushing onto Yoi and getting several rides on it. I thought, yeah, my grilled ham sandwich was so good, I came back for more and had a chicken one instead, and yeah, really good, highly recommend. Anyway, so yeah, I was just sitting there and I was looking at Express Platform 13, and I noticed that a bit of the track, you can see red coming out. And the reason for that is originally it was actually themed to Superman the Ride. That was the name. And the old colour scheme was red, and I think red and blue. The new colour scheme for the new retheme of Express Platform 13, you can see that it's getting a bit worn now because the old Superman colours are coming out there. So there you go, that's a little fun fact for you. But now, after, you know, riding Yoy literally like 4 times in a row, I'm going to head over towards Untamed now, but on my way I'm going to go back onto Goliath there. I'm looking forward to seeing how it rides later in the day, because, you know, as I've previously mentioned, coasters do warm up, so it'll be interesting to see how different the ride experience is on this epic Intamin mega coaster. And I've just had my one ride there on Goliath. By pure chance, I got the second row again, which is quite funny. What are the odds of that? Because I went in the single rider, and Goliath, it is such a good coaster. You know what? If Untamed can be described as mini Steel Vengeance, then I think Goliath should be called mini Millennium Force. It really is like a small version of Millennium Force. You've got the same trains, you've got the same track design, and you've even got a similar colour scheme with the blue there. In terms of the layout itself, you've got 2 helixes where you're getting a bunch of sustained positive Gs, and on the second helix there, I got a little bit of a grey out on the second row. So God knows what the back row is like on Goliath. So yeah, Goliath here, yeah, absolutely brilliant coaster at the park. One of my favourites in Walibi Holland for sure. And I've just quickly nipped on Space Shot there. It was completely walk on, the single rider was empty, and I got straight on there. I absolutely love this S&S shot tower. Once again, I got a nice gap on the restraint, and I was just completely floating at the top there. So good, such a good moment of airtime on that. And here it is, I'm walking to Untamed. God, it's been ages since I've ridden this thing, and I'm really, really excited to see how it's running. Now, it's had all day to warm up. This ride should be Untamed at its best. I'm in the final hour of park operation today. Yeah, it's like 6:20 or something, so I've got 40 minutes, and all I'm going to do is just keep on riding this coaster. There's not many RMC hybrids here in Europe, so you really got to make the most of it. I have just had 5 back-to-back rides on Untamed to end the day, and my gosh, that was an incredible way to end my day here at Walibi Holland. So what do I think of it after my 8 rides in total? Well, it's definitely warmed up now. Getting those 5 rides in at the end of the day was really, really good fun. The ride experience itself is jam-packed full of that amazing airtime, which you do get on Still Vengeance. They share a lot of similarities, which is why it's totally understandable that Untamed has become known within the coaster community space as mini Still Vengeance. It absolutely does deserve that title. You're constantly getting hit with airtime hill after airtime hill. It's mostly sharp, strong ejector moments, little sharp pops of ejector airtime, and then you've got the inversions on the ride where you're getting 0 gravity throughout the entirety of the inversion, and they are my favourite types of inversions out there, where they're profiled in such a way where your bum is floating out of your seat, but it's not touching the lap bar either. You're not getting hang time, and you're not being pinned down in your seat from strong positive G's, which you do on a lot of inversions out there, like a traditional vertical loop, for example. You are getting true 0 gravity, and that is incredible on all those inversions on Untamed. Other than that final inversion, the last inversion, it is the most memorable part about Untamed because it happens towards the end of the ride and you are hanging out of your seat. You're getting a ton of hang time. Overall, Untamed, it is something Walibi Holland should really be proud of to have, because it's not only one of the best coasters in Europe, but it's on a world stage. It is world class. It really, really is. The airtime you get on it is just elite. There's so many pops of it. Yeah, it really does remind me of my times of riding Still Vengeance. And yeah, it's great that we have something similar to that absolutely ridiculous coaster here in Europe. And it's not that hard to get here from the UK. You know, it's only in the Netherlands. It's not that hard to drive here, really, which is what I've done. So I have absolutely loved my day here at Walibi Holland. I'm so pleased that I managed to fit in all 10 credits, and not only fit them in, but get loads of re-rides on them, on some of my favourites, including obviously Untamed there, Goliath, an incredible Intamin. It's riding a coaster like Goliath that reminds me how good of a manufacturer that Intamin is. I was only at Walibi Belgium yesterday. Be sure to check out that vlog if you haven't already, by the way, where I was riding Conda, another Intamin mega coaster. But Conda is a newer generation, and that coaster is even better than Goliath. And yeah, that just speaks volumes of Conda and Intamin as a whole as well, because Goliath is one hell of a coaster. Another major highlight of my day here at Walibi Holland. And as I'm just leaving the park now, look who it is. It is Walibi himself out to meet and greet everyone exiting the park. How great is that? I love seeing a good mascot for a park. I've also really enjoyed getting on the new for 2025 Yoi. Those 2 roller coasters are elite, and they far exceeded my expectations of them. Yeah, they don't look like they're going to pack that big of a punch, because they're not that tall. And oh God, I was wrong. I was really, really impressed with both sides of Yoi. And another highlight of the day, getting on Lost Gravity, that Mac Big Dipper. You get absolute brilliant airtime on it and a ton of whip. And just on the point of the height of the coasters here, Walibi Holland, they've not really got any sort of really tall coasters, and yet they have loads of absolutely brilliant roller coasters here at the park. I mean, it just shows you that you really don't need a tall coaster for it to be world class. And this park, yeah, it has a ton of world class coasters. I'm absolutely thrilled I came here today. Yeah, I'm just really happy with how much I've managed to do today and how much I've enjoyed it as well. So if you've got to the end of the video and you haven't already, please do be sure to smash that like button if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm brand new here and yeah, it really does help out. And also feel free to leave a comment. I read all your comments and yeah, they are all really appreciated. So yeah, I've been doing a small mini European road trip. I started off over at Plopsaland, where I rode my second favourite coaster in the world, the Ride to Happiness. That was an incredible day. And then I drove over to Walibi, Belgium, not far from the capital city, Brussels, and I had an incredible day there, getting on that amazing Intamin mega coaster, Conda. And then I've driven here north to Walibi Holland, and I'm so glad I did. This park has really impressed me, and I've absolutely loved every minute of today. Getting on all these coasters and getting all those re-rides in has been so much fun, as well as some of those flat rides I did today as well. So overall, today has been absolutely phenomenal and I'll never forget it. So my name is Max Grindon and this has been Max G-Force. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.